everyone, for those of you who don't know us,
I'm Nia.
and I'm Vinny,
And welcome to Nia&Vinny's channel.
So we were just talking the other day about how our lives have changed so much because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we were kind of just reminiscing about like our travel experiences. So I know the world is going through a really tough time right now, but I thought it'd be nice to kind of just sit back and reminisce and talk about what life used to be like before this, and possibly give us something to look forward to as well. So that's what kind of brought us to the idea of today's video.
So back in 2019, we made our first ever trip to Europe, London and Italy. So we are going to cover our experiences throughout the journey and also maybe give you a few tips so that you could it could be helpful for you to plan your own trip after we have survived this COVID pandemic. One of our tips is that we have to be very spontaneous when it comes to going on a trip. So one such example was that like on our first day in London, I was very jet lagged. So I woke up around 4-ish a.m. in London time, and I found that my friends were sleeping very heavily. So I kind of went over to them and woke them up and said, "Hey guys, we are in London, we cannot waste our time sleeping, so let's go for a jog." And of course, my friends were not very enthusiastic.
I mean, it was really early, so
we put on our sports gear. I and my other sports gear, yeah.
So sounds so legit.
Everybody was like dressed in that very like what's that? Cold wear, right?
Yeah,
cold weather clothes.
Yeah, proper like jackets.
And we were like in very not
me, just saying.
I was not dressed.
My friend
like
here decided to wear shorts for a run, even despite the cold weather. So
yeah, and I felt like I couldn't stop moving. Like I had to like constantly jog on the spot at least. Like because we jogged all the way to Big Ben, right?
Oh yeah, so the Westminster Bridge, and it took us a while, but it was really worth it because the sights were so pretty along the way, and we managed to even catch the sunrise.
That brings us to our next tip, right? Group dynamics.
Yes, yeah. I think it really depends on how you like to travel, and I know some groups of people who like to travel and they all kind of like do their own thing. So I guess if you travel like that, then it doesn't matter. Your group dynamics wouldn't matter. But if you are going with a group and you want to plan like activities together, then you probably have to find people that you
common interest. And same level of energy.
Oh yeah, energy is really important. That's right.
Yeah, the vibes really matter.
Some people are like chill on vacation, like let's not do anything, let's not plan anything,
But yeah, that kind of.
I mean, we're not that we managed to get a few things done,
It's like some of the nights we were just hanging around at our Airbnb, like singing and recording each other, dancing together.
Carrying each other's bags.
Oh yes. We had a very
Someone's a diva when they travel, so
I mean, we had a kind friend who insisted on carrying our luggage.
Let's just put it that way. So this brings us to our next tip, which is check for reviews on your accommodation, because we had a horror story. Okay, so it began like this. Okay, so we kind of landed in London in the morning.
About 7-ish?
Yeah, it's about 7-ish. And we had booked a place like months in advance. We had like made this Airbnb booking, and we kind of checked out everything. It seemed like a fairly decent place, and it was kind of a central location at Covent Garden.
Yeah.
So the lady that I'm going to name her
Emily
in London. Emily in London, sure. So I'm going to name her Emily for the purposes of this video. So Emily had told us to come by around like 1, and eventually we meet her and we follow her up to this place, right? Her place, right? And oh my god, I kid you not, the place was a wreck. It was just so bad. It was just like, we'll show you some pictures. Like everything was in a mess. The clothes were just like piled onto the sofa, on the floor, and outside in this like little area in her garden area, she had like a bathtub.
I remember. It was looking quite
massive bathtub, just like overturned, just there. And eventually, like we decided to like pass. We were just like homeless at this
Yeah,
point.
we were like vagabonds on the street. We were literally sitting on the random staircases of Covent Garden.
We were just sitting there. So managed to find a spot and
oh, thanks to my friend here.
so yeah, so tip for everyone, please check the reviews of the place, look up the place, make sure you have a backup plan in case something goes wrong as well. Yeah.
One of the interesting things that happened to us during our Europe trip was that we enacted a scene out of a Bollywood movie.
Quite literally.
We were actually transiting from Italy to London via the trains that connect from Italy to London, right? So it's our first time, obviously, as we mentioned earlier. So we landed in Paris. So we were kind of like dilly-dallying and thinking of having breakfast in Paris.
Yeah, we literally wanted to
like we
stop
had
for
all the time in the world. Like at one point of time, we realized that we were nearing the time of the train arrival, so we had to make our way. We were looking all over the place and we couldn't find the location of the train that we had to like get onto. So we asked a French person there, and then they pointed it out to us that we had to go over to another station, and by this time we were already running late. So we finally make our way to that place where we need to get through the immigration checkpoint, right?
They were like, you gotta go like right now. You're not gonna make it if you don't run. So we were just like without luggages, we were just like
running across the platform like, hey, wait for us. And the only thing missing was Shah Rukh Khan there with his hand outstretched like, hey, I'll grab onto you. No, that didn't happen. Anyways, we managed to get onto the train successfully and make our way back to London. So
that brings us to our next point, food. So I'm sure a lot of us travel for the food and experiences as well. So when you are like traveling, I think it's great if you can try out like small little bakeries as well as renowned kind of places. We did check out a lot of popular spots, like the really hyped ones. Like when we were in London, we did like the Shoom.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Yeah.
We did Lingerie and
we had Shake Shack.
Yeah,
and one good thing out of trying that in London was that we didn't have to queue up for it.
Yeah, because it's not hyped in England, it's just one of those things that they have at every like corner of the street.
Yeah.
But in Singapore, it's like, oh wow, you have to queue like literally for hours to get. In Italy, we actually walked along the streets and we were checking out all those small little bakeries and cafes.
And oh my god, I just have to share with you like about this coffee called Cafe alla Zabayone. They add like some custard into the coffee.
Filling,
yeah, and then they add like a topping of chocolate ganache. Okay, it is more of a dessert than actual coffee.
Yeah, it's definitely
fix that you have in the morning, right? So it was totally the bombs. I had 2 servings of it just by myself. So
do try out all these things. I mean, it's of course Insta worthy as well, so you can do it for the gram.
So this is not really a tip. It's more of like an eye opener for us. So like in London, we noticed that the subway was way more smaller than what we are used to in Singapore. So we were in a cluster in the subway, and then I heard like a voice like that was literally coming up from the heavens, and I thought that God was talking to us. I was like, hey, really, God is talking to us? Then I just looked around and I saw this like 2-meter tall guy who was like stooped in that small subway, looking very uncomfortable.
He was very tall. So that brings us to the end of the video. So we hope our tips were useful to you.
So if you enjoy watching our videos, please do like, share and subscribe, and
don't forget to follow us on our socials, Nia_Vinny on Instagram, and our YouTube channel, of course.
thank you.
Thanks, see you guys.
Bye.